Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, I will say this one's a little late, because I have finished it quite a while ago. But this is a actual full review on not Kingdom Hearts, jeez. Expedition 33. Now, I did already beat the game, and it was probably over a month ago now. So, I don't want to say my judgment or my thoughts are old, but, you know, it's, in my opinion, it's still fresh. Uh, the game was amazing. And I really don't think anyone else can really say it wasn't. I mean, it won Game of the Year, right? So you can't really say that it wasn't a good game. I don't think I've heard anybody say it wasn't. It's one of them games where the music was fantastic. It was honestly my favorite part of the game. I don't think there's any game that I know that had better music. I know Kingdom Hearts is out there, and there's a lot of other names that have fantastic music. But Expedition 33 really stood out to me, where I actually would listen to the music when I wasn't even playing the game. And that's rare, man. Like, that's so rare. So I don't want to go into the story too much, because I feel like it's a game where you don't want to spoil anything, right? So I guess the way I'm going to go about this review is talking about my thoughts on it, whether I liked it or not, and maybe the type of person who would really enjoy it. And I also don't, like I said, I don't want to have any spoilers here, so don't worry, there won't be any spoilers. So like I said, music, fantastic. Story, really, really good. I think it has one of the best stories. But there's one thing that I felt, and I feel like I might be the only one who says this, but I feel like the character relationship wasn't as good. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, because maybe I'm comparing it to some other games that I felt like had more better character relationships. But I felt like this one could have used a little bit more. But I guess at the same time, I don't really know how else they could have done it better. So I'm really just complaining to complain. It's not really true complaint. It's just me trying to pick at something, right? I really feel like a person who would love this game is someone who appreciates good music, but also a game that challenges you in ways that other games have not challenged you before. If you like Final Fantasy, if you enjoy like other turn-based RPGs, I feel like you're really gonna enjoy this one as well. There's other. I think the battle combat sequence, really. You know, I guess this isn't really a spoiler, but you know, you kind of have the ability to parry. You kind of have the ability to deflect the attack. So there's an added element of skill and timing that really makes it how do I say, satisfying. I think that's the perfect word for it. In other games, you didn't really have that in terms of turn-based. Like some of them, yes, you can dodge, but I felt like with all the different characters and all the different ways they can attack, trying to figure out the timing kind of kept you engaged, you know? And that's something that Expedition 33 did very, very, very well. And I know the developers really aimed for that, right? Just based on how the game played, they wanted to surprise you. They wanted to catch you off guard. And I think that's what really makes a turn-based game better. Because sometimes when you play turn-based games, I don't know about you, but me, like, I guess a good example of this could be like old school Pokemon or any type of old school turn-based games. You start to kind of get a little sleepy after a while. Like, you kind of get a little bored depending on how engaged you are with the story. But this game here, you kind of have to be actively focused to be able to time that button to be able to survive. You know, I really don't think you can survive if you just keep taking every hit. But anyway, yeah, the story was fantastic. The combat was great. And the lore was on another level. Just my opinion. The whole story, I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Like, who is this person? Why are they here? What is the true meaning of the paintress, right? Just in general, the whole world was a mystery. And the fact that it was so beautiful at the same time in such a dark atmosphere and a dark storyline made it intriguing. And I'm not sure if that's makes sense, but for how beautiful it was, I've really felt like there was something to that that was respected by everybody. And that's really hard to have. Could they have done anything to make the game better? Is another question. I'm not really sure. I mean, I think they did good with the story, they did good with the combat. Um, some people say it was too short, but I'm not really sure if I would even say that. I felt like it was a perfect length, especially if you like explored everywhere and you know, did your actual like didn't just beat it to the end kind of thing. One thing that I've noticed, and I don't really think this really spoils anything, is that after part 2, you can actually just finish the game, which is so weird, right? And I'll be honest, I sort of made that mistake at first. So I ended up going back and finishing some item things that I missed because I just totally missed it. And the crazy part is, and I don't think this is a spoiler either, because I feel like anyone new who goes to play the game, I highly recommend you explore. Because if you just do part 2, and then after part 2, you just go straight to I shouldn't say part 3, like you're going to be finishing part 2, you're in part 3, and you go straight to the next area where you're supposed to go, that's basically the end. Like it really, you know, and I was kind of surprised because like, if you do that, the game's very, very short. But if you don't do that and you actually explore, it opens up a whole other world, a whole other part of the story that you would just completely miss. And I think that's kind of, I don't know if I would say misleading or difficult, because some people just may not do that exploring part and then they'll just miss a big portion of the game and then they don't even receive the story of it. So it's almost kind of like that story's optional, but I think it's mandatory in order to really enjoy the game fully. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's just my only take on that, is like the developers really kind of played it risky by doing that, because if someone just went ahead and completed the game like that, they might be disappointed. They might actually say, whoa, why did this win Game of the Year? Like, that was kind of not what I expected. But if you actually like explore, like I said, and go see those other areas, there is story there. So I highly recommend you do that if you decide to play the game. Just my personal opinion. Anyways, yeah. I highly recommend you go play it. It was Game of the Year for 2025. I really have no complaints. If you decide to play, get ready for a very intense, emotional story. With beautiful music, a lot of action, and just a beautiful environment in game to play in. I really think the developers did a great job, and from my understanding, it was a very small team of like 30 something people, like 33 people or something like that. And that just kind of goes to show from like a studio perspective what you can create with such a small team. And you can tell every single person on that team had a role, they gave impact, they had like a vision, and they all contributed to make the game as great as it was. And I think that's rare nowadays, right? Because a lot of studios and a lot of different gaming studios, they just kind of like, I'm assuming they have like their core people that are like driving the thing, and then they got people in the background kind of just like working on some things. Some are doing a lot, some aren't, right? Just like any business, right? You have the core people that have such a big impact, and then you have some people that are just kind of, I don't want to say wasted space, but they're there and they're not giving 100%, if that makes any sense. So I really do think with this game, everyone was on board, everyone had a contribution, and everyone felt valued. And from my understanding, they're creating another game too. I really hope so anyways. It'd be an honor to play another game by this team. So anyways, yeah, this is my full review without giving any spoilers, and I highly recommend, if you have not played this game, go pick it up, man. It's not even a full price game. They're giving it for below the full price ticket price, which on its own goes to show how much the creators just want to get the game in your hands, and they want you to experience an adventure you'll never forget. That's just my opinion, at least, because they could easily charge full price for this thing and people would buy it. But instead they said, you know what, we're not going to go that route. We're going to give it to you at a lower ticket price. This way, you know, we're going to change the industry. And I think they really made an impact. So I don't want to keep rambling on, but if you enjoyed this review, please let me know in the comments. And if you played Expedition 33, let me know what you thought, because I really have no complaints. If you thought they could improve some things, let me know, because I truly would like to hear your perspective. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much, guys. And hope you enjoyed my review, and yeah, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.